Hey guys, and welcome back to another Ascii video. And as you can see by these new tabs, now there is collision detection, and it is not really AABB. Essentially, what it is corner detection, I'll call it. And how it implements, or how I implemented it, was, and as you can see, when you go into a new chunk, it doesn't collision detect just yet. This is just staying within your chunk. It can't go outside of your bounding chunk just yet. But you can walk around the map, and it is a little bit glitchy when you're going from chunk to chunk, just like everything else is before I implement it fully. But yeah, everything else still works fantastically, and it could just kind of go around, and yeah, everything just kind of works. So it's a little bit more like Terraria now instead of an old school game, and it's like Minecraft in the aspect where your character is a little bit over a block tall, so you do have to make a 2-block path to get by. And as you can see by the bounding box, it is just over, let's zoom in a lot, it's like a pixel over the uh, the block. So yeah, that's it's pretty neat. So yeah, you can walk around. You're limited to 0.5, the max speed that you can fall down. And let's see, let me try to get, there we go, yeah. So 0.5, and that just keeps it within the safe range. That's basically the max speed before the collision detection starts bugging out. But yeah, let me just show you guys how I implemented this. And I don't want to touch anything while I'm in here because I just got it all nice. And hopefully people can experiment with it before I break anything. But we'll go into collision. And I rewrote all the collision. Now it has two functions for collision. It has the Y value for the collision, and it has the X value for the collision. The Y value also detects whether you're on a block or not, and the X value just detects if you're hitting up against something. But the interesting part of how I had to implement this was I couldn't do those both at the same time because it would counteract with each other, and either X would get caught or Y would get caught, or they both get caught. So what I had to do was, if I can find physics, there we go, in the main, where is it? For some reason I wrote this as X apply, but this is both X and Y. It modifies the player's value for their Y, and then it detects collision on the Y axis, and then it applies the X value, and then it detects it on the X axis, and that just makes everything go much smoother. I've also got some carriers down here to make sure that none of the values for X flip out, because X likes to go crazy because it's a little bit more of a float than the Y value is. And what I mean by that is I go another, I believe it's into the 10,000th instead of the just the 100,000th. I can't speak anymore. I've been programmed for too long. But yeah, it's still a little bit buggy when you go from chunk to chunk, but otherwise it works really well. And we'll just kind of walk around for a little while. And we're falling infinitely. No. There we go. Yeah, I gotta change that the value because it detects if you're on a block and if you're not squarely on a block or something. I gotta figure out why it doesn't do that. It will not apply the reset to the falling. So yeah, we'll just fall down here, get put on a block, just kind of jump around. And this is extremely basic collision detection, but it works for this game. And let's see, I'm going to have to do the placeable variable in the ores so you can place nodes in water or blocks in water, because right now you cannot. Water acts like another solid object. So let's create a little flood over here. We can walk around and all that good stuff. We'll make a little waterfall. And this makes it, and yeah, here's another one of these errors, 138, because just because it's not programmed, the rest of the game isn't programmed in for using floats. It's programmed in for using the grid. But yeah, that's enough rambling. We'll just walk around on the surface. Get stuck in here, I guess. And also, now there is music. I created a very basic music track. Where is it? It's in main, and all you have to do is uncomment line 57, and it will loop music. And I'll turn up the music a bit. Nope, and the music got cut off. No! Let's see. Line 138. What's the issue in player? 138. Selected chunk. So what I think is happening is the MX and the MY is going outside of the bounding box, and it is just causing issues. So yeah, that's oh yeah, this is where it is, because I used the little hack with the math.floor to essentially allow me to modify the environment to walk around. Let's try not to modify the environment too much. We'll just use F5. Just kind of walk around the surface with this music playing. And yeah, I think I'm going to definitely gonna comment that back out, because that music's a little drony for now. That's just a sample song I made for the game. Let's see, what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I wanted to implement stairs. See if I could do that. Somewhat more advanced collision detection, but that would require a little bit of AABB coding, or I could just do a hack to push up the character as they walk through the stair. That would be a simpler hack, actually. I would just have to use one of the bottom corners and then push it up halfway. As they get more than halfway across, push them up again so they're on top of the stair. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty simple. Also, I kind of wanted to implement ladders. I kind of want to implement basic weather and basic lighting. The lighting would be the most difficult, I believe, because I'm going to have to detect what chunk the player's in and essentially render the background of the chunk. And you know what? Now that I'd rather actually just program it, because I got about 3 more hours of programming for tonight, and I'll program a basic weather system in, or a basic background system in for now, and then I'll get back to you guys. So see you guys in the next video in a little while.